Welcome to the Living Alone podcast, where we help you reclaim your confidence and energy through taking control of your wellness. I'm Paige Hope.
And I'm Tracey Paige. Join us for quick chats on wellness, personal growth, hormone regulation, and more. And welcome to another episode of Living Alone. And this episode, I'm so excited because once again, the incredible Paige Hope is here with us.
We got to stop with that intro.
Oh no. If the audience thinks I'm going to stop with that intro, they're crazy.
I feel like I need to say with the incredible Tracey Paige.
Oh no. Well, I just love it each and every time. As many of you know, Paige has been so busy this year just building Alon Pure. And so every time she takes time out of her busy schedule to be here with me, honestly, do these things. And for all of you, I mean that, Paige. And I want you to know that.
Thank you.
So no.
But you're just as busy. Wow. So thank you.
I tell you what, we'll talk about being busy. We're going to jump right into this particular episode. We try to keep these episodes 20 to 30 minutes, very bite-sized for people. And this episode here is we're kind of wrapping up the end of the year, and you could be listening to this any time. But I wanted to keep this one a little bit shorter. And this episode here, you're going to laugh. But Paige, we're going to talk about debloating.
Good. I want to learn about debloating.
I tell you, have you ever gone somewhere or had something to eat, whatever, and now you're bloated?
Oh, yes.
The food baby?
Oh, yes.
Have you had a food baby
Absolutely.
before? And our listeners, are you shaking your head? Have you had a food baby before? Well, let me tell you, when I come out of the holidays sometimes, I feel like I've grown a little food baby, right? But I am being serious. And so many women be like, oh my gosh, or you wake up. Now I am being serious about this. And why I'm doing this episode is a few nights ago, I woke up, or I should say a few mornings ago, and my hands were even so puffy. Mm-hmm. And one of the questions I get from a lot of people is, Tracey, oh my gosh, how do I lose this puffiness or debloat? And I started laughing. I'm going, you know what? Because I just got asked this. I thought, we're going to do a little episode on this.
I do love this, actually. Yeah. I feel like this is a great and timely episode.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you have a bunch of tips for us, Tracey.
I do. And I just got it down to 5 tips because I thought, you know what? We're coming out of the holiday season, right? Perhaps you're even listening to this and it doesn't matter when, right? The holiday. And I thought, okay, let's talk about it. The first one I want to talk about that always helps me at least, hydration. So many people are like, Tracey, my fingers are so swollen. Oh my gosh, now my pants are really tight. And it's not because, quote unquote, maybe I've gained weight. I'm just being honest. It is the debloating. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, can we start with hydration first? The other morning, my hands were even hurting and my ring was so tight. And I knew. Now I'm going to talk about what causes bloating so we know. And I knew. So what I'm going to share with everybody, it is hydrating. The number one thing that I can tell you, especially maybe you've had a meal the night before, maybe you had even some alcohol, something like that, a trigger food for you. We're going to talk about a few trigger foods that can make you feel this way because it is uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. I've hated when I've had to maybe even feel like I've had to unsnap my pants. Anybody else ever have to unbutton, right? Pull that little trick. Maybe I even untucked my shirt so nobody even realized I just kind of did a little, okay? Mm-hmm. Well, I know right then and there, first of all, I can start kind of chugging some water. But let's just say the next morning, that warm lemon water. I am going to say warm lemon water has been the savior to so many different things. So many people have said, Tracey, I can't go without it. Not only has it helped your liver, the bio in your liver, which is so important to detoxing, but I will tell you, flushing your cells and getting that going is so important. So the next morning, I'm having that warm water. I'm putting the lemon in. I'm putting some Redmond sea salt in. I don't have time to say why Redmond's, but how it really is a mineral salt that's going to help you and start flushing. So a lot of people are like, Tracey, you want me to put salt in my water? Isn't that going to make me bloat more? And I'm like, no.
That was a myth 10 years ago.
Total myth. That's why I want to say it again. Total myth. But being able to, and then all day long, making sure I make sure that I have my greens. Now, Paige knows because when I travel to Utah and stay with her, the first thing I do, and I am more than happy to link because I am very particular about what I am drinking, the purity of different things. And this particular green is so good on alkalizing and digestion and helping me and feeling really good.
Remind us again, because this is all about detoxing and debloating, depuffing.
Yes.
Remind us why it's important the next day when you're feeling really puffy to start with the warm lemon water because it gets us back into alkaline. Now, remind us, we have so many new listeners. We've said this in earlier podcasts.
Yeah.
But sometimes people need refreshers. Like, I think it took me 5 times to really be like, oh, that's what getting back into alkaline. It's alkaline or alkaline? Whatever it is.
Going back to having your body an alkaline.
Alkaline. Okay. Right? Talk about that and why that's important.
Acidic. When your body is very acidic, what's happening is perhaps you've had some seed oils, you've had gluten, maybe some sugar, some artificial sweeteners and things. And when your body takes those things in, it is making it very acidic state. And I always say, imagine for me, I always feel like I have a weird gift that I can see people's body inside of them on a cellular level. And so your cells inside, once you do that, they are like swelling.
So it's causing inflammation.
It is causing the inflammation.
Okay. I like to take this down.
This is why I love when she takes, because sometimes I try not to get too sciencey. I try to stay in the middle, right? And so Paige, it's inflaming. So now your body's very acidic. It's in an inflamed state. And I won't go back to it, inflammation is the root cause of all disease. It's not good to keep our bodies constantly inflamed. I want to now get it back to an alkaline state. I want to flush out, if per se, toxins in your body. So being intentional about getting that warm lemon water. I say before the coffee, because now you're dehydrated and we want to penetrate those cells. People say, well, Tracey, does it have to be warm lemon water or warm water? I'm like, warm water is going to penetrate those cells faster and help get the toxins moving out.
Okay, I love it.
All right. The lemon in it is helping with the liver and the bile.
Okay, that's good. I needed that science breakdown.
Yes. So that's where I need you to understand what's happening and why people go, oh, I can't go without it. I can't even believe.
I don't go without it anymore either.
No.
It's crazy.
I'm going to tell you that's one of the biggest things. I'll just share one other thing very quick because I said this could be a short one, right? With the hydration. At night, I'll even drink ginger tea if I think I've had something that I'm just kind of feeling a little off, right? And I don't want that feeling anymore. So, right, there's some really great herbal teas. I do a lymphatic tea that has dandelion in it that I really love because we're going to do another podcast sometime here. It was a request that we had for our lymphatic system, which is super important to our health and well-being. But I take a really good tea and I have to tell you, I feel so good. So again, I want you to just think about getting that, being alkaline.
So just getting the inflammation out, because the puffing is probably the inflammation, likely. Yes, okay.
That's why people, when they say, oh my gosh, my face is depuffed. Like, oh my gosh, I can tell my rings are now twisting around my finger. Oh, my shoes aren't feeling so, oh, I don't have to unbutton my pants. All right. So imagine when we're like this, we're now causing inflammation. We want to depuff it. We want to get those toxins moving.
I love that. What's tip number 2?
Tip number 2, and this is one I won't spend a ton of time, but I feel like some of our listeners need to hear this. And I'm going to talk about chewing your food. We inhale our food very quickly. And I always felt, if you're one of those, I've had a lot of women over the years say, Tracey, every time I eat, like my stomach, and we'll talk about are you chewing your food down enough? Because if you are like me and you're in a state of not even really chewing it, have you ever felt like you've even practically swallowed your food whole? Like I ate so fast all the time. And when you're eating fast and inhaling, you're also taking a lot of air in. And now your body's trying to break down everything in your stomach. And now you're feeling, that's why a lot of times it's like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? All I need to do is slow down and chew my food. So there was anybody out there that you're like, oh, okay, well, Tracey, every time I eat, I'm feeling like this. I want you to chew your food more. So we could talk more about the science of that, but I definitely wanted to put that in there. Now, number 3, movement. Now, as I always like to say, yes, having a bowel movement is always really good. Making sure you get plenty of fiber in. That is pulling the toxins out of your body. Ladies, I wasn't going to talk about this. I can't even believe. But I used to say, I would work with people and I'd say, well, please, help me understand. Nobody, it isn't always comfortable to talk about, but how many times a week do you have a bowel movement? And they'd be like, oh, once a week I go. Because they'd say, oh, I'm regular. And I'm like, oh, well, what's your regular? Once a week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, toxins are in your body. Your body was made to chew food and excrete food.
What would you say the number of times we should be
Per day? Having a bowel movement, excreting
Yeah.
toxins. That's all this is, people. Like, this is very natural. We were all born to do this.
How many did you say?
Well, I'm going to say at least once a day. Okay. That's very, I mean, let's get you to at least once a day.
I feel like I'm twice a day.
And I was going to say really healthy twice a day,
Yeah.
to be honest, because it's a natural thing, right? You're ingesting food, you're absorbing nutrients, and now whatever doesn't needs to be excreted from the body because those toxins are being built up. We could definitely I was in my very younger years, I was the girl who would once a week have a bowel movement. I'm very passionate about this particular topic, to be honest with you, and what I had to do to help and make that better, the fiber, stress, there's different things, but I do want women, please, this year, let's really focus on that.
Let's get to pooping twice a day.
That's right. Seriously, nothing wrong with it. Let's make this like natural. But then movement, can I tell you, how about moving your body? Oh my goodness, having a digestion walk.
Yeah, we did an episode on
Paige,
that.
She didn't know. And the evening, if I've had something and you don't want to feel that way, and you're like, man, I'm feeling bloated, depuffed, I've felt this way, right? The digestion walk.
The digestion walks do wonders. They also say it's really cold here, so I haven't been able to do my digestion walks, but you can sit on, or you can do your little calf raises.
Oh.
That is going to do wonders. I hop on my little rebounder. There's so much you can just do. Sometimes I'll even do air squats. Like it just any sort of something. It doesn't have to be for that long either. I gotta say though, I'm missing my digestion walks. It's chilly here. I'm not that hardcore. I'm not going to be outside walking, doing my digestion walks in the snow.
But
count me out of that one.
Just what you said. Sometimes I used to walk up and down the steps for a couple minutes. Right. I would stand in place and do jumping jacks, as in not really jumping, but like pretend, right? Just anything to move your body. And that's going to help you actually with those bowel movements. It's going to help you start moving those toxins through your body. And it's going to help you start debloating.
Love it.
So if you're like, oh my gosh, I've come off the holidays. Oh, I had X, Y, and Z. Perhaps if you had more sugar, more gluten, more dairy or something. And oh, my body's inflamed, what we just talked about. I want you to start adding these things in slowly. This is really going to help you in feeling better. And we're always going to be here to help you with other things as well.
What's number 4?
And so I'm going to go with number 4. I'm like in my head going, okay, what do I really want to? Okay, I'm going to go with it. So many people are drinking carbonated drinks.
I'm actually guilty of this. I love my Spindrifts.
See? And you know what? They are a treat sometimes.
Well, and I don't think that they're, for my body, for me, it's not as bad. But that's why you have to also learn your body.
Please.
It's all about the self-awareness. We always talk about that.
I'm glad you said that because like these aren't like the holy grail. We just get people like, right, ask the expert. If what I just said, ask the expert, we have people like say, hey, I always feel bloated. Why is that? What am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. Your body is just this. Let me help give you tips.
Tracey always says, which I so appreciate, bio-individuality.
Yes.
It's like you shouldn't want to do the exact same routine, eat the same thing as someone else because your body is very different and you're going to react very differently to different things.
Yes. So, I just wanted to throw that in there because it was funny that, again, it's over all the people over all the years. And, every night she was drinking it. And I said, hey, nothing wrong with it, but let's try it without. And she was like, oh no, right? And she had just enjoyed it. We just had to change it to something else that she enjoyed, but the carbonation. So if you are one of those, I just thought, I want to bring that up, that could, because there's nothing, we don't like that feeling whatsoever. All right. Well, let's wrap it up with 5 because I said again, we were going to keep this one to a short one. And that's real quick. And we don't have enough time to get into it. Your gut health. Okay.
Oh, I feel like this is a deep one. I feel like we need to get into it a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to get into a little bit. And then let's do a full episode really, on your gut health. Because I remember thinking so many years ago, but realizing it's connected to everything.
What would you say the number one indicator is of having poor gut health? We know, like if you have certain acne spots, we know acne is a sign of poor gut health. I know when I was not having all of my bowel movements, it was poor gut health. Like there are a lot of things, but what would you say the main one would be that you've seen with people?
Okay. Well, 2, sorry. Well, 1, it is fun. bloating is huge. If you, no matter what you eat or do, because people, right, I'd give them these simple steps. And they're like, Tracey, it's not helping.
Yeah.
Why do I? It's not, yes, your body, right, when you eat, automatically your stomach's going to, what, quote unquote, expand a little. Hello, you just put food in it. That's natural. There's a difference. So if you're one of those, you're going, oh no, I know the difference. Like I'm bloated. Like what is going on? It's your gut health, meaning the lining of your gut gets very irritated. So when it's inflamed and you're eating, you can imagine, like, you know, when you have a cut and it's warm and it's raised, you ever feel like one, right? It's like itchy and it's heated and it's even puffed a little bit. Imagine maybe it's on your hand. Your gut's the same way. If it's constantly inflamed, it's your gut health and it's happening. And now you're putting things in your body. It's now, what do you think it's doing? It's expanding. It's that heated. Think about this scrape on your hand, right? It's always a little puffy. That's what's happening. So we want to go in and heal that gut. I said, you can eat all the nutrients you want, but if it can't properly even absorb the nutrients even because your gut. And
our gut is really the center of it all because your gut, poor gut health can lead to hormonal imbalance.
See, that was my second.
It can lead to everything.
Can I just say, there are just so many things. Like I can't even believe I hadn't thought about this. Maybe we'll bump it up even further, but your gut health, understanding how it is connected, but then what you can do, but knowing that it is a process. And, you know, some people just want to take a probiotic only and just be like, oh, you know, but yes.
Which that can help.
Yes. I'll say, I want everybody to understand, I take a probiotic every day.
Me too.
Because in my gut health journey, and I'll be honest, I was like, gut health, oh, I'm healthy. I did say that. Paige didn't even know any of this story. I was like, oh, give me a break. That's what I thought to myself. When that little natural path, I thought, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like one of the healthiest people you're ever going to meet. Oh, no. Things in our life, different toxins, things I realized affected because bioindividuality, our gut health. I have more of a sensitive gut. I had to take that probiotic. Then I had to like start then taking out foods.
Yeah, like Tracey, even to this day, she can't really do onion and garlic. Like that was ruining her gut.
Yes.
So there are things like doing a food sensitivity test. We've talked about this before. But if you are one of those people that suffers with bloating a lot, which I did for a couple years, like,
okay, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes. So you do kind of have to go through your own journey, and it is cutting out foods, but starting with, like, if we're talking about this is the center, this kind of turned into like the center of the topic. Yeah. I almost feel like starting again, figuring out how to detox. So you're getting your body back into alkaline.
Yes.
And you're slowly starting that probiotic.
Yes,
but then you're doing all the movement, of course, and then you are taking the food sensitivity tests. But if you're one of those people that have been on antibiotics, that is like a gut microbiome killer. And I can personally say that because I was on antibiotics for a very long time for an eye issue that I had. And so that's why my gut health actually got so out of whack. But also I must say, birth control can disrupt your gut microbiome. So there are so many things out there that can disrupt it. Yeah. So we always like to lean more toward natural things, of course.
Our body, because it can heal itself.
Because it can heal itself. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I learned a little bit more about some natural ways to heal some of my eye disruptions, I like kind of cut my antibiotics cold turkey. And we're not saying by any means, like, I don't know what we're not, we're not doctors by any means.
No.
But I haven't had issues since. No. And in fact, now like having real bowel movements, not, it is important. I was just telling Tracey this morning about how my bowel movements used to be. Yeah. And I'll just say it on here because we're 98% women. All right. They were like, and we should actually, it would be interesting to do like a picture of all the different types of.
Yes.
Should we bowel movements? I want to just say poop. Like, how do we say this in a professional way? And
like I always say.
I'm like, what are we saying? Right. But it was like, literally mushy. And I've talked to people about it and they're like, well, mine are little pebbles. And I'm like, well, that's not good either. So Tracey, that's what I'm saying. So Tracey, walk us through the bowel movements, like what yours looks like. Cause that can also be an indicator of where you're at. Like I feel like that's a good sign to start with.
Your body's actually speaking to you. Mm-hmm. And people always say, like, 'cause when I'd ask women, well, what does it look like? Well, what do you mean? I'm like, you don't look. And I know that sounds weird, but I realized Just like your skin speaking to you when you break out, that something's going on. Your energy is speaking to you. Your bowel movements and what's happening, it's actually speaking to you. So I want this to be a topic that, you know what, we're not feeling embarrassed about because we want to feel like our energetic, confident self.
And there's things out there where you can get a non-toxic candle in your bathroom, okay? We're not.
Yeah, come on. Like, seriously.
It can smell good still.
Yes.
We can still be, it's like little,
Yes. Like, I'm going to tell you, like, I know, like, you know what? Maybe we should link a few little fun things. It's just true.
I just have to share this one time. I had a roommate once. This was so long ago. She's adorable. She was so embarrassed of anyone ever smelling anything, right?
Oh, yeah.
She kept matches in the bathroom and would light a match after every time she went number 2. And then put it in the bathroom. And I remember the first time being like, why does it smell like fire? But it was her way, like, that was her way of masking it. And I'm like, I think that's absolutely hysterical. I love that for her. But that's a topic for another time. Sorry. The ADD.
Somebody as well. That's hysterical.
Someone might need that.
Yeah. Hey, whatever that is for you. We're here to help you with everything to make you feel confident.
I did read something. Okay, one more thing. One more thing. This is a relationship one, but we're going, listen, this is it all. I heard that your relationship has a higher chance of succeeding. And I'm going to butcher this. So sorry, I don't remember where I got this. This could have been TikTok for all I know. If you have separate bathrooms.
Oh.
Take that as you will. Now proceed, Tracey.
Okay. Well,
someone might have needed to hear that.
Yeah. Just moved into the condo with my love. And now we have 2 bathrooms. I have mine and he has his.
Well,
you just never know. We're going to succeed. You hear that, babe? We're succeeding. 2 bathrooms. I know he's dying right now. And,
the one of 5 male listeners,
I
maybe.
know. Our biggest fan.
We probably have like 15.
No, we have more. Well, we are gonna wrap this up, and I realize how important this gut health, but first of all, I want you to really and I really want you. Okay, thank you because I almost said something else.
Yes.
Listen, I was the type it was all way too loose for too long.
And loose as in?
More, I don't want to say diarrhea, but very
Got it.
loose.
Liquidy.
Yeah, more liquidy.
Okay.
Meaning, I wasn't getting enough fiber. Fiber is bulk, and that's good. Imagine bulk. So okay, here's what I need you to understand. When I used to talk, because I love visualization, because it's the trainer in me. Have you ever seen inside of your kitchen sink or pipes, and you know how like it's coated, like, right? The water's still moving through, but over the years, there's coating, right? It gets corroded, all right? So what I'm saying to you is your food and everything that now becomes, of course, the poop that you're now going to release is speaking to you. Well, because there was no fiber, no bulk, it was just like flushing through. Well, that's not good. All right. So then people would say, oh, well, the pellets. Oh, it's hard, Tracey. It's pellets. And I'd be like,
pellets.
Oh, that's not hydration.
Okay. So hydration. So if you've got pellets.
Let's get that warm lemon water going. Let's put that, sea salt in there. It's going to help you with adrenals. It's going to help with hydration tremendously. Okay? Smushy again. Like, listen, there's some things that
your gut is upset.
It is.
Could be even a parasite.
It could, because that's a tricky, right? Because it's not quite all dry. So, but no, that's not. But if you have, of course, then I want it to be whole. I imagine, we talk about this with a kid. We'd say like a log.
I was going to say, it's
Seriously.
like a log.
Because imagine
you come out like a log.
Imagine what I said about your pipes in your kitchen sink. Imagine your intestines are the pipes, people. It should be bunching up together. And it should then imagine what, like I said, and all coming out together. Well, if it's not, there's something off.
That's and that's what learning your body is all about. And sometimes these episodes are weird. Like, we definitely admit that. But someone might have heard something today being like, holy crap. Like, I can actually look at my bowel movements and see what might be an indicator. Okay, well, then that can lead you to the next thing that leads you to the next thing. And that's really, we're here to, I love how you said springboard on the other episode. It's like, we're just here as that little springboard.
It is. It is. I'll just say quickly, sometimes when you're sick, and if you ever have like mucus or slime, Okay, that's infection coming out of your body. Like there's a lot of things I want you to know, it makes me want to like somehow we need to like, hey, if somebody knows a really good doctor and would like to come on to the podcast to talk about this, because I've had a natural path where I had to do, right? Or I'm going to call the poop test. They wanted to see. It was the basis of everything. Yeah. Okay?
Your gut is important.
Your gut, your energy. That's why I now take a really good probiotic. I also take digestive enzymes that helps me break down every more. Right? We're aging. Things are just like anything. Like they kind of like wear out, but we don't need to wear them out any faster. I can still keep them in tip-top shape for my age, right? I love digestive bitters. It warms up my digestive system. There are many tools that we can get into, at a later topic. It's going to help, okay?
I think because food also just is a lot different than it used to be. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you do have to supplement with some stuff, right? Yeah. But I think it's a good reminder for me as well, right? I need to get that food sensitivity test again because also your body changes over time.
Oh boy. Just ask me, Paige.
I feel bad. Tracey has to eat really bland food because she can't do garlic or onion.
No. I have a food allergy to it. And I do want to say this one more time. Some people, eggs and corn for me, and those are definitely in the top. You don't even realize it isn't like you're breaking out or isn't like you have hives or, my esophagus is closing. But what I realized when I took the food sensitivity is I do have a sensitivity. Once I took that out, and now sometimes I add it back in. What's funny, I feel the inflammation, but it also shows up in my stool.
See, you can see.
You can't. Because I want you to know. I always tell everybody.
That's a professional word to say it. Stool.
Oh, I don't care how we say it. All right. So if you're feeling bloated, first of all, you have some things that you can automatically, think about your hydration, the movement. We talked about moving your body and having a bowel movement, both. Maybe the carbonation, chewing your food, getting a good supplement. But if that is something that you're wanting to do and this is important to you, we want to hear from you. What was the one takeaway? What is the one thing? I always say scooches, small scooches every week, aha moments are compound effects. So what's that one thing? Tag us, DM us. We're here to help you and always feeling like your sexy, energetic self. And I'm going to just end it with even your beautiful, tanning, glowing self at this one. Until next time, we love you.